Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We have recently seen a handful of Battlefield 6 developers talk about various different concerns from the community in a bunch of different interviews. They were talking about all sorts of different things when it comes to their plans for LTMs, why Season 2 was delayed, what their plans are going forward for seasonal content and expectations. But we also recently got even more detailed responses about two major areas of concern, that being the maps and then also the weapons of Battlefield 6 and some of the specifics that go into them there. So we've got some very interesting details to break down here today. This all stems from an interview with GamesBeat at the DICE Summit with DICE's producer Alexia Christofi. Battlefield Bulletin went through and summarized the key points here over on a Twitter post a few days back. And this starts off talking about the Season 2 maps, why we only have 2 maps in it, and what their sort of expectations are going forward with map quantity per season. If you're someone who is hoping for more maps in a season, which seemingly is everyone in the community right now, that's been the main request, is can we please get more maps? That's all we're looking for here. And unfortunately, we don't get super positive news when it comes to this. Here's what Alexia says for their content distribution per season. Basically, they say, we are releasing on a cadence where we feel the maps are up to quality and we are happy with how they play, the variety they give to the players. There are worlds in which we release hundreds of maps, but they're not that fun. We never want to do that. We want to make sure that we have maps that feel good to play, that they're fun to play. I completely empathize with players when they want more maps and more content. They talk about that because they're passionate about the game, passionate about the franchise, but we are a team of a certain size. We don't want to sacrifice quality. So essentially what they're saying here is that we're likely not going to see tons and tons and tons of maps in any seasonal update going forward, because if they're doing more quantity, they are sacrificing quality, and that's not something they want to do. Of course, there's been a lot of complaints about the quality of the Battlefield 6 maps as well, though, so far this year, with a lot of them being too small, too, time to engagement heavy, where they want you fighting almost the second the match starts, then fighting the entire match. There's not much room to actually play strategically behind a lot of these, a very select few. So it's obviously been a major talking point basically this entire year. Map size, map quantity going hand in hand. And we don't necessarily get fantastic news regarding anything specific with either of those areas of concern with this, outside of the fact that they're focusing on quality above all else. So this to me kind of reads and kind of, is explained in a way that Season 3, probably not going to see a huge increase in maps. Maybe instead of 2, we get 3. That would probably be like a substantial upgrade in terms of what they're able to produce. They also talk, or Alexia talks about being a team of certain size. It's also interesting because they've talked about resources a bit in general interviews lately, saying that they are limited with the resources they have for Battlefield 6, but yet this is one of the largest projects they've ever done for Battlefield. So we're kind of getting like mixed responses there that kind of go against each other. So it just seems a little bit messy there, and certainly is some concerning news for those wanting more and more maps per season. I mean, if I was them, I'd start looking into remasters as well. Perhaps those could offer a nice little bridge, if you will, while we're waiting for more and more new maps that are sizable and fun to play and are good quality. Remasters, you already have kind of the foundation built there, and maybe they could just, work on those at the same time. That could probably be a nice little win-win situation for everyone, where we get maps we know play well that are good size from Battlefield games previously, and maybe it's a bit easier for the devs on that front as well. Time will tell there ultimately, but that's not the only response we got here in regards to a largely controversial system or feature here in Battlefield 6. And keep in mind, as we're going through all the info here today, if you guys enjoy the video, for one, a like rating is always seriously appreciated. It's a great way to help grow the channel and help inform new viewers. If you happen to be one of those new viewers, or maybe you just have not subscribed to the channel yet, we should change that. I always got you covered with absolutely everything going on in the world of Battlefield, so feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. Next up though, Alexia also talks about weapon progression in this game. This has been another major talking point. It takes ages and ages and ages to level up guns. So long that it basically becomes a chore when you're trying to go after certain attachments. Now, you can make some very good builds on quite a few guns just by getting to like level 20 or 25, which is not going to take take as long as going all the way through and getting to 30, 35, 40, where the XP really slows down per level. But it still becomes a situation where if you want to use very specific attachments on a gun, or if you want to get to that max level of 40 for the camos or whatever, it's going to take you quite some time to do this on every gun in the game, basically. So with this, Alexia says, we went back to the drawing board and looked at our ethos around progression, making sure that, for example, attachments shouldn't take a super long time to unlock, but yet we're in the situation where they do take a long time to unlock. We want players to be able to get that content and play with it. If players become really good at a weapon, we want them to be able to have those mastery badges to show off how proficient they are, but we don't want that to affect the golden path too much. We try and find other avenues for players who want a bit more than that they can chase and showboat. We want to make sure that, again, that golden path is accessible to everyone, but those players that can do really cool stuff, really hardcore things, we want to be able to reward them. Having dog tags that you unlock through being super proficient at certain things or doing certain actions and being able to display those on your player card, we want ways for players to peacock like that. Hey, look what I can do with this. But it is a fine balance for sure. We don't want people to complete stuff too quickly and drop off because they got to keep their attention. Similarly, we don't want people to feel like it's too much of a grind, like it takes them too long to do something. Except we're certainly in a situation right now where a major complaint from a ton of players, both new players and veterans alike, has been it is a chore to go through and try and fully unlock a weapon and have any given attachment available for it. And you have to do that for 40, 50 plus guns in the game now if you're really trying to give yourself a ton of variety, because the weapon balance is good. You can use a lot of different weapons themselves. If you're looking for certain setups, though, you got to commit a ton of time, and especially as, like, you know, a more casual player, that's going to be maybe overwhelming to the point where it's just not something you care about putting the time into after a certain point. So again, an interesting response that doesn't really confirm or deny that they're going to make changes, because the situation explained here doesn't necessarily line up fully with what's going on in game, you know? Lastly, Alexia was also asked about Portal and if there was anything coming with this. And Alexia explains that Portal is now going to start focusing more on new player-made experiences to bring those to the forefront on the front end and make sure everyone sees the cool stuff that people create. We've kind of seen that happening more and more as of late with them featuring some community experiences, whether it be, you know, recreations of things like Operation Metro or other interesting, you know, variant modes. We've seen these featured more and more as of late, but then there's also the question of, okay, how is the XP distribution going to be? Am I going to be able to level things up here? Am I going to be able to play against all real players, or is it going to be filled with a ton of bots? You know, there's still more to iron out there as well. So some interesting responses here in general, some talking more good news, some talking more concerning news, I would say. That is going to wrap things up though for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like on it. It's always seriously appreciated. And if you're new here, you want to make sure you're always in the know for all things going on in Battlefield, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.